There's several opposing forces that run through the album, and sanity and insanity is kind of one, and good and evil, male and female.
Kind of like Mother Earth, or like, earthiness, nature
and technology kind of. So nothing is just one side or the other, but it's about balance, or like trying to the search for balance. Yeah, that was the intention. I mean, it's honest in the way that like the songs are really all very personal and about us, but it's also not the whole picture either. It's like it's a small scrape of the surface of who we are, and it's not honest in the way that it's like when people say, if you don't tell the whole truth, you're not telling the truth, because, there's still a lot more to know and a lot more that's left out too. So, but I would say that that everything that is included is, for the most part, as straightforward as we could get it. Just to share our experiences, but then it's like our experiences involve pushing the gender boundary. So, it's not like we sit down and we say we want to write a feminist song or we want to be feminist. It's just like we're women. We're writing songs about like our lives, and it just happens to be that we're women, so it's going to be about that. Murfreesboro.
I just like saying Murfreesboro as many times as possible.
Murfreesboro,
Tennessee.
Yeah, it can be a really stifling atmosphere, and you really stick out if you're like a openly creative person in the South. It's like it's a different. It's so different than most people in the rest of the country can even really understand, But I also think in a way it's stimulating, because
Absolutely.
It's like there's something to rebel against. Yeah, it's challenging. It's not just like a free,
it makes
open.
it more interesting too.
Yeah, it's easier to push people's buttons, so it's like you got more to play with.
Not that we're necessarily trying to push people's buttons, but when it happens, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, but it is like it is important to sort of like push against social boundaries, and not really. We were just, it was more of like a representation of the album and the work on the album. And it was kind of just to represent the personal, vulnerable aspect of the album, but also like finding strength in your vulnerability, and like being nude is very
empowering and also like terrifying, I guess, to some people.
Exactly.
I guess everyone,
Well, Blur the Line is definitely, I mean, that song, it's about the good and evil sides of myself and the male and female sides of myself, but also like a large part about just like being like, what's the difference between being creative and crazy, you know? Because it kind of feels like the same thing. And maybe it is, I don't know. Mostly autobiographical, but it's really just, I mean, some parts are kind of like tweaked and creative license, you know, but that song was really just like me like being totally like neurotic, freaking out about a bunch of stuff and just sort of like, you know, thinking about all the shit that was messing me up, and then, you know, also thinking about the whole world and like what's the worst, I mean, what's like bringing everybody down, like just fear. And, you know, like there's a lot of people who are in a lot of way worse situations than me, and I felt like if I just like wrote a song about how about like the things that I was most worried about and most afraid of, and just like, you know, put it out there to everyone and just said I'm not afraid of it, then it would like maybe help other people like in their own situations say that they weren't either, you know, even if it was just for 3 minutes while they listen to the song, you know. That was kind of the idea.
I think it's a good thing for like everyone to listen to right now. The world's scary, and like just to remind yourself that like you know there's real things to be afraid of instead of like your such trivial daily whatever. Everyone's kind of neuroses.
And anything could happen to anybody, but like the only way, really a way to get through anything is to just like conquer that fear, you know, and just
Live through it, face it, yeah.